I can't believe this worked again. I guess I'm lucky. So, if you are registering a Google business listing, if you're opening up a second location in the business, if you're opening up a new business and you want to place a little dot on the Google map, see if there's already a business that has been there, right? In this case, as well as I think I've done 20 or 30 of these exact cases, and they don't always go smoothly. But what we essentially have done is we've taken over the old Google listing. Now, there's lots of pros and cons of doing this, but because I live in the world of rankings and ranking websites, and when the website ranks, the leads and the lead quantities and qualities outweigh everything else. So bear with me on this one. We are opening up a local business. Let's say it's a boxing gym. Let's say it's an accountant, whatever the local business is, a dentist. And what we've done is we've taken over the previous Google business listing. Now, this isn't as smooth when the listing is a completely different category. For example, if you're opening up a boxing gym where a dentist used to be, I'd still do this. And I'd do this. So what is it that I'm actually talking about? I'm talking about actually taking ownership of the previous Google business listing. Now, this is only possible if the previous business is completely shut down and not looking to do anything with it. So we're not doing anything dodgy, we're not doing anything illegal. It's just that old business is done. They're not relocating, they're not reopening, they're completely shut down. And so in theory, this is the theory, and I have executed this, but I never promise anything, is we take over the Google listing. That Google listing potentially is already 10 years old, 2 years old, whatever months or years old that it is a huge kickstart to the new SEO campaign. So we take over the Google business listing by taking ownership of it. The way you do that is anyone can do this. On the Google Maps interface, there is a button there called Own This Business. And what that does, that gives you the opportunity to contact the previous business owner. In this case, we had their details. We were able to give them a call. And they basically get a transfer of ownership email sent to their main email account, and they simply approve it. They approve it with some two-factor authentication. And so essentially, what we do is we take over the previous Google business listing. Now, that might have lots of 5-star reviews. It might not have any. It might be really bad, but in any case, obviously if it's smothered with 50 1-star reviews, maybe don't do this. But the benefits of it being somewhere on the 4s and 3s and 4 stars rating is that you can smother it with 5-star reviews because you do good work. That's the basis of everything in marketing working, is just do good work, right? So we take over this Google listing, and thus we get a kickstart in the SEO campaign. Now, in this case, I estimated that this might fast track about a year's worth of SEO, which is about, it could be 60, 70 grand worth of SEO kickstart into this campaign, because the Google listing that we took over was in the same space, in the same industry. It had 140 reviews at 4.7 star rating. This is a blessing, right? So we gently took over it. I didn't touch anything. I waited. I waited for the Google gods to assess, to marinate. Because what happens with Google listings, if you make too many edits too fast, they will suspend you. Now, I was actually expecting them to suspend us anyway, but I knew that I'd get past the suspension by proving to Google that we're simply doing a rebrand. What was incredible was the new business that is taking over this location has similar colors in the branding, and it's also in the same space. So dentist, accountant, boxing gym, right? So we took over it. Then in a few days, I changed the URL, meaning changing the website. In a few days, I changed the contact number. So you don't want to make too many edits too fast, because Google's just going to suspend the account for suspicious activity. Imagine you haven't done any kind of drastic movements in your banking for several years, and you've just been taking your whatever deduction and whatever, and then all of a sudden you jump in, you start making some significant edits. What's the bank going to do? It's going to securely lock you down and 2FA and stuff like that. So that's the goal. And now we have our business coming soon in that suburb. In this case, it's a second location opening up. And I'm so grateful because this is going to do wonders for the local SEO. If you are a competitor in that suburb, we've just got more Google reviews than many of the competitors there, just like that. Now, this isn't everything. A big chunk now, I'd say about 70% from now on, relies on what happens on the website. Now, the story here is it's a multi-location. It's the second location opening up. What we do, it's a different suburb. What I've done is I have essentially tripled the site of service pages. I went through the main pages that we've had that were optimized for the single suburb that we've been at, and I've removed that suburb and added both suburbs, if that makes sense. So the homepage mentions both areas, but it mentions the greater city, so Sydney or Melbourne or Perth or whatever it is. So we do dentistry in Melbourne, right? And then I built out, in this case, it's only 6 pages for that suburb. So it's teeth whitening, Brighton, tooth extraction, Brighton, for the Brighton location. And then it might be tooth whitening, South Yarra, for the South Yarra location. So essentially the site is now tripled in size. It's got the standard homepage services, then it's got the geo pages, and now within weeks we're in position 7. Weeks! Position 7! Bottom of page 1. No celebrations there, but it's been weeks. The 2 area locations are, let's say, 20 Ks from each other. There are about 15 other mature competitors in that space. So to be 7th so quick is incredible. And so I can't wait when the actual location hasn't even opened yet. When they open, instead of the coming soon, we're open now. I optimize the Google listing. Watch us skyrocket on Google Maps. So moral of the story, if you are opening up a second location, check if there has already been a business there. As long as that business isn't continuing on, it's not relocating anywhere, you can attempt to take over the business listing. I did this for a jeweler in Melbourne. There was already a jeweler there, thank God. And so we completely changed the name, changed the URL, changed the contact details, smothered over the top with additional 5-star reviews. And look, anyone that scrolls through those reviews, they can read them, great. It's just a rebrand. New business owner in this case. It's a little bit more tricky when it's a different industry, so you're going from like an accountant to a dentist. Be prepared for the business listing to be shut down. Be prepared for you to lose the reviews. But in many cases, we've simply just continued on. The benefit of the rankings and the benefit of the kickstart outweighs the potential of someone reading that review and not being relevant. And look, everyone's different. Some clients, they can just smash 100 reviews in 6 months. Other clients can't get 10 in 4 years. So everyone is different. I try to do things like prepare for worst case scenario, which is my client hasn't properly embraced hounding people for Google reviews, in which case we take over the listing and we do what we do. So crazy kickstart to this campaign. I'm so excited. Everything's looking really green on all my rank trackers. Hope you received some value. Let me know if you have any questions on what I did and how you can do it yourself.